Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome back to more Dragon Ball Super reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the episode 6 of Dragon Ball Super. This episode is titled Don't Anger the God of Destruction, the Heart-Pounding Birthday Party. This episode was basically like you guys are gonna get a lot of that. As so long as we're in the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F sagas, it's gonna be a lot of me going. This episode is basically reviewing what happened between Battle of Gods. Only there's a bit of changes and differences that are most noticeable. I think I'm gonna like when the saga's all over, I'm going to do a saga versus movie review overall, comparing the two and seeing which one I like better, or like noticeable tidbits that one had that the other didn't. But overall, I'm just going to go ahead and start the plot summary, and then afterwards, I will tell you how I feel about the episode. You know, the same usual spiel. So, the episode basically begins with Goku eager to go back and try to fight Beerus. I really don't like this because, well, he's not eager to fight Beerus, he's eager to find out more about this Super Saiyan God form. I really don't like the fact that Goku pops back up after getting his ass handed to him from Beerus, because in the movie he more or less stayed on the ground for a long amount of time, and then later on during the later parts of the movie, he finally gets up, tries to train to become Super Saiyan God, but notices that it's a power that he just can't reach. So I like that difference a lot better, but I guess we'll do this, I guess. He's eager to go back, but King Kai convinces him no. So Goku sort of just stays behind. Yeah, that whole scene is awkward. But anyway, we cut back to the party, and Vegeta's out here already. Unfortunately, I don't like this either, due to the fact that, like I said, I liked when Vegeta was warned by King Kai that Beerus was on his way. I guess they're trying to make Beerus seem a lot more menacing. Vegeta, I guess, after episode 2, has decided to warm up to his family a little bit, and because of that, he's decided to go ahead and go to Bulma's party, take Bulma's thoughts into consideration. I mean, it is his wife's birthday party. But after all of that said and done, Vegeta makes it to the birthday party and he's chilling, but then he senses a very ominous feeling. Instead of King Kai warning Vegeta, which something King Kai should definitely have done, which would have made him a lot more responsible as a watcher of the North Quadrant, but whatever. Um, he instead of doing that and warning Vegeta, Vegeta gets an ominous feeling of Beerus's arrival. At this point, it's really creepy because Beerus is like showing up on different sides of the bow, but not really there, and it's like Vegeta's going delusional until he finally meets with Beerus, and then when he does, Vegeta ends up getting paralyzed in the exact same fashion that he got paralyzed in his past. Now, this is a very big noticeable difference. Um, During the scene where Vegeta was a little kid and King Vegeta was getting stomped by Beerus in the movie, it just sort of shows that part, and that's all we see. Like, Vegeta is so scared, he doesn't even attempt to approach. Well, in the Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta is actually running towards Beerus and, paralyzes him for trying to, trying to step up to a god and, all of that. Beerus seems a lot more menacing this time around than in his movie counterpart. Where in his movie counterpart, he's more or less just the god of destruction who destroys, because he can. And I actually kind of like the movie's iteration of Beerus more than how they're trying to portray him in Super. I get what they're doing. They're making him seem like a villain. But to be honest, I don't think Beerus is really a villain. I think Beerus is a threat to Earth, but I don't think he's a villain per se. The thing about Beerus is that I've always liked is that he destroys not because not because he has to, it's because he wants to. It's his job to destroy things. Like, he's not really a bad guy. All things that must be created have to be destroyed eventually. It's just Beerus decides when they get destroyed, and I always thought that was a very interesting way to portray a destruction based deity, but here they make him come off as more of a villain and more menacing, which I guess works for whatever because Beerus has the strength to pull it off. Anyway, Vegeta gets paralyzed, but before Vegeta ends up getting any more harm done to him, he sees that Bulma intervenes and invites Beerus and Whis to the birthday party. Once they get invited as new guests, everybody welcomes them and they're all like gathered around him and like, hey, what's up? Hey, and it's just very casual. But then Vegeta's watching in the back because he doesn't trust the fact that Beerus can just be goody goody with all the Z Warriors. But when he saw Beerus the first time, also, a very funny thing to notice, well, interesting thing to notice was that Kid Vegeta has the bangs that he had on his that he had when he was a kid in the Legend of the Bardock Father of Goku special. A lot of people are wondering why that's inconsistent because Saiyans keep their hair from birth. Yes, they do, but also when Saiyans cut their hair, that's it. It stays cut forever. Like when Vegeta states that Saiyan's hair starts from full growth or from birth and can't really be changed, he meant that like it can't grow anymore. So once he's born with that hair. And I bet you the reason he cut it was because it was getting in the way of battle. Like that's an obvious. So an Eddie was the best thing for him. So that clears any suspicions of that. But I'm going too far into it and I'm rambling. Anyway, long story short, Krillin decides to like come in out of nowhere and he's like feeding him these Tokiyaki. I think they're called Tokiyaki balls. You correct me if I'm wrong, but he feeds Beerus and Whis these Tokiyaki balls. And Beerus ends up tasting it, and everybody's just like, it's this really suspenseful moment of, oh my god, does he like him? Does he like him? Does he like him? Does he like him? It turns out Beerus does end up liking them. But like he did it in the same way that if you watch my Pokemon reviews, he did it in the same way Ash did when he first tasted a Poke Puff for the first time. He like his face shut down and everybody thought he was dead. Then he just came back and was like, this is delicious. So yeah, he really liked the Tokiyaki balls. And Krillin ends up eating one, but his was like really spicy and everyone laughs. Yamcha goes all buddy buddy mode and knocks Beerus down, like slaps Beerus on the back. And when he does that, Beerus gets really, really pissed and Vegeta tries to calm him down. So yeah, that was really cool. And then Goten and Trunks end up playing with water guns, and they end up squirting Beerus on accident. And I really love the water gun fight because when Goten comes out, he makes it look all extreme. He's got his water gun ready. The music is all amped up. It looks like it could be something of its own. I would really enjoy, like, really like to see the Z Warriors just play like sports and stuff and like be accompanied by music and things. That would be a really interesting take to do on it. I think One Piece has done stuff like that before. So it would be really cool for Dragon Ball Super to have like an episode like that. Anyway, Vegeta calms Beerus down, but he does it this way by taking an octopus, almost similar to the one that he that inked him the first time, and he takes the octopus, slings this fucker in the air, and then blasts him with Final Flash or Galick Gun. Either one. It's purple, but he's doing the Final Flash motion. Very inconsistent. But once he blasts it, he takes the pieces, cuts them up, and you get to see like Chef Vegeta going in. And this isn't exactly Bingo Vegeta, but Chef Vegeta for the win. Like I really like that Chef Vegeta's just going in. He makes these fried octopus balls, and Beerus and Whis are just enjoying the fried octopus balls. So it calms Beerus down one more good time. I noticed they're not eating as much food as they did in the movie. Where in the movie, they from each scene by scene, Beerus was enjoying very various different types of food. Where in this one, he's mostly eating either the Tokiyaki balls or the octopus balls, and like that's it. Like that's literally all. They didn't go through the large variety of foods. Maybe they'll probably try to do it when Goku's trying to become Super Saiyan God, but as of right now, they're just not doing it. Anyway, after all that's said and done, Whis tells him about the pudding, and here we get the infamous pudding scene that is unchanged from the movie. Slight differences, but unchanged from the movie ultimately. Beerus wants a pudding cup, and Boo won't let him have any of it, so Boo ends up licking all the pudding cups, and Hercule's like, oh my god. This time Hercule's a very big witness in all of it, rather than just it being Boo and Boo alone. Beerus gets pissed and like powers up, and then Boo just punches him, but the punches don't do anything. And then Beerus basically wastes no time slapping Boo around. And I gotta say the animation, and thank God, because episode 5 knows what it did. I gotta say the animation is much better than in episode 5, where that was just atrocious. But I also got to say that Beerus beat Boo in a very interesting fashion, much differently than when he beat Boo in the movie. Because in the movie, all he did for real was like hit Boo one good time, like blasted. He did a Kakaya on Boo and knocked him out the way. Then Boo came back and he hit him in the head and against Gohan's head and kicked him away. Whereas in this one, he's like knocking Boo in the air, grabs Boo, twirls him around, throws him in the ocean. And it's like, oh snaps. And after this point, we see that the battle's about to start between our Z Warriors and Beerus. And then the episode hits a to be continued spot. Overall, I gotta say this episode had some really nice moments. I like the one moment where Yamcha's just like practicing his punches on Piccolo and Piccolo just blocking him with one hand. Kind of degrading towards Yamcha, but at the same time, I thought it was still a really nice moment. And just, yeah, it's good to see that the Z Warriors can still maintain like humor and character between each other, even though they're dangerously weaker than Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta. But you know what? It's still good to see them actually, put in work to show some form of humor. It was really cool to see, like I said, cooking Vegeta was really cool. He's not exactly Bingo Vegeta, but I do like him, and I thought it was really fun to see him do that. Other than that, it's basically the same spiel as in Battle of Gods, the very minor differences. So with that, but I really did like the episode. Is a much better recovery after that atrocity that was episode 5. So the next episode is How Dare You Hit My Bulma, Vegeta's Frustration Mutation. Yeah, so we'll be seeing the Z Warriors fight against Beerus. So until then, I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out.